Assuming you regard yourself as single, would you say you are all right with that or bothered by it? Do you feel decided by others or maybe judge yourself for your ongoing status? Experiencing childhood in our general public, it's difficult to keep away from the message that being hitched is expected for joy. We might feel forced to trust that on the off chance that we're not in that frame of mind, something is off about us, that being single is disgraceful. However, is being single so terrible? Are hitched or joined forces people more joyful than the single individuals among us? Looking at life fulfillment between the individuals who are hitched or joined forces versus the single people isn't difficult to do. Concentrates on offering fluctuating outcomes. One review recommends that blissful singles are bound to wed and that there are wide contrasts in the advantages of marriage for various couples. I've frequently seen people who are discontent with their single life. I've frequently seen that a portion of that disappointment comes from the dejection of being single or the feeling of dread toward being single perpetually, when one would rather not be. However, a frequently ignored piece of their disappointment is because of the disgrace experienced around it, the disgrace that stems from normal practices and self-caused disgrace. Suppose we're single. Maybe there are times we have a miserable or desolate outlook on that. These are sentiments we can see and be delicate with. However, at that point, on top of that comes the subsequent bolt, the conviction that something is off about us for being single. There may likewise be assimilated disgrace from cultural convictions that we ought to have collaborated. If we decide to get involved with these convictions and standards, tolerating them as truth, then we add a self-caused twist to anything that disappointment we could search for being single. If we make a stride back and notice these convictions carrying care to them, then as opposed to converging with these convictions and being governed by them, we can investigate whether they are truly obvious. Is it true that wedded individuals are more joyful than single individuals? Maybe it relies upon the individual. Maybe joyfully wedded individuals were genuinely cheerful before they got hitched. Maybe a few wedded individuals are cheerful from the beginning, and afterward they find contrasts or arrive at stalemates that they don't have what it takes or eagerness to manage. Perhaps they separate and are tossed once again into their single life, maybe with kids to now be brought up in isolated families. On the other hand, perhaps they stay together and put on a cheerful face, however, under either of them are battling or unobtrusively languishing. Connection hypothesis lets us know that we're wired for association. We're social animals who need solid associations to flourish. A satisfying organization or marriage can address our issues for association and closeness, liberating us from the weight of neglected needs, promoting our happiness, and working on our satisfaction. Nonetheless, kinships are many times an underestimated wellspring of fulfillment. Making connections where we have a solid sense of reassurance to uncover our actual sentiments and considerations and share exercises with them can go quite far toward addressing our requirement for association. We can be single without being distant from everyone else. The learning, development, and delight of a marriage or organization can offer phenomenal endowments. Yet, whether we're in associations, companionships can add a significant component of fulfillment to our lives. Times of being single can be useful and open doors for development. Being separated from everyone else can permit us to chip away at ourselves. Maybe investigating how past connections became derailed and how we could move toward them sometime later. Psychotherapy or training could assist us with finding out about ourselves, what we need, and how to push ahead in our lives. We could likewise find that there is euphoria in savoring our organization. We can develop assets, maybe through workouts, reflection, otherworldly practice, craftsmanship, composing, or music to extend our prosperity and grow our inventiveness. Maybe you're satisfied with your single status. If not, I would rather not limit the disappointment you may feel. And yet, I welcome you to consider assuming you're hauling any disgrace around it, the subsequent bolt. Assuming this is the case, maybe you can be more delicate with yourself, recalling that the grass generally appears to be greener elsewhere. You might in any case need to keep your eyes open whenever valuable open doors introduce themselves, or search all the more effectively assuming that feels appropriate for you. However, consider that you can develop your inward life, while likewise profiting yourself off the phone, web, and maybe safe social chances to associate with individuals who could add satisfaction and importance to your life. Blissful individuals will quite often have more joyful associations. Give you all to make a fantastic life for yourself. What's more, be available to valuable open doors and synchronicities that could bring an exquisite accomplice into your life. On the off chance that not, consider the possibility that you can have a wonderful, significant life whether you end up being single or banded together at this moment. Be prosperous and share happiness.